Hello, and welcome again to Mummy Meals. Mummy's Monthly Meals. I am Natasha Radburn. I'm trying to make this more professional. And today we are making shepherd's pie. Now, shepherd's pie is super easy. It is like the best homey cooked meal ever there was. My kids love it. My husband loves it. There's very few things that we actually all enjoy. And this is one of them. This is one of the meals. And you're thinking, ground beef, potatoes, oh, this is such a 70s meal. This is something that my parents would eat. Yeah, it's because it would be something that your mother would make. And your mother was trying to keep it simple. So, listen to your mom and listen to me. Keep it simple, stupid. Okay? This is a casserole dish. And it is one of your best friends if you're trying to keep meals simple. Okay? And basically, you're going to cook your ground beef and put it along the bottom. Next, you're going to put a layer of peas. Next, a layer of creamed corn. And then following mashed potatoes. Yum! You're like, ew, that's so gross. No, it's not. It's delicious. Try it. Okay. So, I have my beef cooking over here on the stove. Right there. There it is. I don't know if this is good for the iPad, but it's there. When you cook your ground beef, I cook it in a pot, and instead of adding oil, I add water. Just regular water. Probably about half a cup. And I always drain it off afterwards. I buy extra lean ground beef, or lean ground beef, whatever is cheap, and yet not as fattening as regular ground beef. And then I put it in with water and I cook it, and then I drain off the fat. I know you're losing a lot of the juices, but I don't really like the taste of fat from ground beef. Do whatever you want. That's just what I do. But I do the water instead of oil because it's better. And my friend did it in Alberta and she was amazing. She's still amazing if she ever watches me. Now, I will add 2 or 3 cloves of garlic to the ground beef. And again, mince it. Or if you want, actually, I'll show you the trick. I'll show you the trick of mincing without a garlic press. There you go. So what you're going to do is take your garlic clove, put it down. Where is it? There we go, on the counter. Take your knife and hit. Look, it's smashed. Throw it in your beef. Again. Knife, flat edge, don't put it up like this, put it down flat, okay? Blade away from you, and hit. Look at that, nice smash. You can chop it up after that if you want, but it's a nice smash enough. Remember, with garlic, the finer the grind, the finer the mince, the more potent the taste. Yeah. Okay. It's my little trick that my sister taught me of smashing my garlic. Now, just cook it in. If you get the water boiling, it's, well, you want the water to boil, but if you get the water boiling, you can break out your meat into little pieces instead of chunks. I don't really like a huge wad of beef chunks in any of my casseroles or sauces or anything. I like it when it's, little pieces of ground beef. Because big wads of chunky meat, it's not very appetizing for me. I used to be a vegetarian, so it's not ideal. Actually, every time I get pregnant, I know I'm pregnant because way before I pee on the stick, because I can't handle touching raw meat. And I can't for the whole of my pregnancy, which So Kyle takes over and puts the beef or the chicken, or I never had pork, but if we did, he always touches the raw stuff because I'm like, this is flesh. It's so wrong. And if I didn't turn you off meat, you can still follow me. All right, with your potatoes, you want to peel your potatoes, probably about 4. And there we go. They're in my pot right now. I have them peeled and chopped, and I'm just going to drain the water off. I had them sitting in a cold bath. For about 20 minutes. The cold bath is just there to take off some of the starches. Then your mashed potatoes don't become gluey. They're like potatoes. They're not glue clumps. Which is always what you want. Now I boiled my water in my kettle, and now I'm just putting it on my stove. You can salt your water. I don't particularly. I don't use a lot of salt. I just don't. I know I'm a bad cook that way. Gordon Ramsay's always like, salt, 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 salt. Season! That's what they call it. Season! I don't season with salt. I use it sometimes. I use a lot of garlic and a lot of pepper. And I think my food tastes good. My dad always adds like probably another teaspoon to a tablespoon of salt when he comes to visit. But I never salt my food afterwards. My kids don't salt. My husband doesn't salt. Usually if you know who you are, who comes over for dinner, it's very rare that you salt my food. But if you do, or if you want more salt, then salt your food. Salt my food when you come. I don't care. I use garlic and pepper. Do whatever you want. Alright. These are both on. Beef is just about done. Because I just put my potatoes on now, I'm going to tell you how you do them. I'm going to assemble the rest of the casserole, but the potatoes will not be done before this needs to be over. So I'm just going to tell you. When your potatoes are done, it'll take about 20-25 minutes until it's fork tender, or just take a knife and insert it. This is the knife that I use to cut the potatoes up in the first place, so that's one with me right now. And then just pierce the potato. If it comes out soft, if it goes through and it's nice and soft, then it's time to drain the potato. Drain it, drain the whole pot, then throw the potatoes back in the pot and add, you can add a tablespoon of butter and maybe half a cup of milk. Or, my favorite, and how you get super fluffy, delicious potatoes, is if you add whipping cream, liquid whipping cream. And you don't add any butter, you just add the liquid whipping cream. And again, about half a cup, 3/4 of a cup. And then you whip it from there. Use whippers if you have a mixer like this. It's called a hand mixer. You can get them for like, I don't know, 20 bucks. They're also making a great wedding present, or so if you thought you would never use one and so you just gave yours back after getting it for a wedding present, go back and get one. Just get a cheap one. You don't need anything luxurious for this. Just this. I basically use it for pudding and for mashed potatoes. You don't need much. I use my mixer, my big KitchenAid mixer, for everything else. But for this mixer, potatoes. And then use this with your mashing potatoes, just whip them with the whipping cream. And then I add pepper and granulated garlic. This is from Costco, but you can get granulated garlic from anywhere. Sometimes call it garlic powder. Don't get garlic salt. If you get garlic salt, or if you have garlic salt, you can use it in replace of salt. Do not use that and salt. You're young. Don't want to die of cardiac arrest. Okay, and then you'll add that to your potatoes, probably about half a teaspoon, and yeah, probably half a teaspoon of each, maybe a teaspoon of each. And throw that in, whip it up, and then you'll lay that on top of your meat and peas and corn mixture. Okay? So now my meat is done. And I know it's done because it's been at a boil for about 10 minutes and all the beef is brown and cooked through. You don't have to put it at the temperature that they say. It's probably cooked enough anyways. Plus you're putting it in the oven. Now I strain mine. You can choose to do whatever you want. And I actually rinse out the pot too because I don't like fat. I don't like tasting like fat. Like, you get that film. I'm not even in the picture screen. You get that film once you taste fat. I don't know if it happens with anybody else, but I hate it. Okay, so you have your pot of ground beef sitting right here. There we go. No. There we go. Now, what I do is I add a little bit of ketchup. And you're thinking, oh my goodness, you add ketchup? What is wrong with you? Get a better recipe. I said, this is keep it simple, stupid. Probably about a quarter of a cup. And then mix it in. You just want enough to make it come together. Remember, your mom made this. I'm making it. It is a home-cooked meal. It's nothing exquisite. You can make this meal for under $10. $10. And your kids will eat it. Little kids will love it. My kids, pickiest eaters. They like things separate, but they love this meal. Goodness knows why, but they do. Next, get out your peas. Just breaking them up, don't worry. And just pour it on top. I know, frozen peas. You're putting frozen peas on your hot meat. What an idea. Frozen peas, pour it over. Half a bag, quarter of a bag, depending how much you're making. Depending if you like peas or allergic to peas. If you were allergic to peas, don't put them on. You have your peas. You have your can of cream corn that I asked you to buy at Superstore. Open it up. You can make a gravy if you want. You could use the juices of your meat. My fridge talking to me again. You can use the juices of your meat and again just add flour and water together first and then pour it in and make your own gravy. I do the cream corn because my husband doesn't like gravy. So I just pour the can of cream corn right down the middle and then spread it around. Plus it gives you an extra vegetable. And you're thinking, corn isn't a vegetable, it's a starch. It's true. But it's a vegetable also, just like potatoes. So this is your casserole so far. When your potatoes are done, drain them, whip them, then do the same. Just put it on top, add a nice layer, throw it in the oven, 350 for about 30 minutes or so, or you can boot it up to 375 if you want a crispier top, and that's your meal. Simple, easy peasy, $10 dinner. Have a salad on the side. Easy peasy. Your kids will love it. Love it. Have a nice day.